So this video today is going to be for my good friend Ernie. This is an S14 Kouki, all original SSR SP1s, SR20 with AC, very clean OEM swap, but the T28 original turbo on it, oh I'm sorry, T25 because it's a red top. The T25 actually blew, so he was blowing some oil out of the rear. So now he has a GT28 71R. A bunch of goodies on here. Got him new FMIC, doing the front mount on here, everything. And then gonna be doing a little mechanical tune for a little more boost so he can daily the car. But other than that, just go ahead and just enjoy how beautiful this 240 is. All original paint, all original interior, very clean. And usually all the leather seats come fucking trashed, but this the passenger seat is like immaculate. The driver's side has a little bit of an issue, but look at this, no crack dash. This 240 is so clean, super clean.
That's pretty cool.
So we already got the whole front bumper and core support and all that stuff off. Should have recorded that just for you guys, but it's okay. We got the new turbo on, everything pretty much ready to go. Got all the side mount intercooler piping and intercooler off, all that good stuff. We are relocating his battery to the rear as well. My favorite part about this thing is just how clean it is. Like everything is damn near like they swapped it in Japan and just sent his car over. Like look, they even have cruise control on here. They kept all that original stuff. You got AC already tied in, ready to fucking go. That's pretty tight. And then also what I thought was pretty cool is, I don't know what this means, but something obviously legitimately was done to this car. Rebuilt in 3/31/2012. So I don't know if it's either the SR or the actual chassis or what, but this Kouki is super clean. My friend came up in this market. Like, I'm not even gonna tell you guys because it's just so crazy, but he came up on this car, man. Here's just some of the parts that we are installing. Like I said, FMIC, gonna be doing a new OEM fan shroud, bunch of nice stuff. Garret T28 71R. This is the old turbo, completely bad oil seal. And if you guys aren't too familiar with how to check your turbo, so obviously one way to check is shaft play. You want to make sure there's no shaft play. But the other thing, even if there's no shaft play, is you could have a bad oil seal. And the way you check that is you go to the back of the turbo, and yes, it's going to be black as usual, but it should be dry black. It shouldn't look wet. When it's like wet, shiny-ish oil, that means you have a bad oil seal. And then you start noticing it by getting a lot of blow-by. But other than that, we should be pretty much good to go. Setting her up. But the turbo is already on. That's already installed. Just checking all the lines, making sure everything is tightened down before we go. Because when you do your startup, you definitely don't want to go through what I went through growing up. I changed my GT28 turbo in my parents' garage. Well, not even garage, driveway. I grew up in a trailer park. And first startup, the oil feed was loose and just put oil all over the driveway. I woke up to my dad yelling at me, had to go out in my underwear on the floor to scrub it. It was a nightmare. So don't go through what I went through. Make sure you double check all your guys' lines. Woo. All right, everything's pretty much mocked up. Haven't made the bracket for the intercooler entirely yet, but all the piping is mocked up. Turbo's all bolted. Everything's good to go. Now we're just putting in a fuel pressure regulator. We're going to be putting in the wideband and relocating his battery. So everything is looking pretty good. Super fast. Really fast, actually. But stay tuned, guys. Whoo, she's coming along. Catch can system's in. Intakes in, all the FMIC's in. Basically finished up doing the fuel pressure regulator system, relocating his battery right now, and we might be able to start her up in a couple minutes. So it's been a long ass day today, and we are pretty much finished up with this S14's SR. Did all the FMIC, fuel pressure regulator install, catch can install, GT28 71R, bunch of shit. Also doing a keyless ignition system. But here we go. We are about to start this. Do you guys remember how I said make sure all your lines are tight? Well, we fucked up kinda. One of the banjo bolts wasn't even fucking on. Simple mistake. Oil everywhere, but we're good to go now. Now we got the little spoolie noise. Sheesh, so beautiful. So pretty much everything is mechanically sound. We ordered some new spark plugs, motor mounts, transmission mounts, just basic stuff to help out this swap, because I don't know if you guys noticed in the video, when it starts, the motor shakes. So motor mounts are trashed. Today we are gonna finish up by putting on the front end and everything like that and giving her a little wash, and she's pretty much good to go. So let's see how it looks with the front end on now. So we finally got the bumper support modified to fit the intercooler in place. Bumper is on. Such a pain in the butt to get it on with the fogs, because CX Racing's piping did not want to work with the fog lights. So we had to muscle it on in here, but it's good to go now. Thank God. I was so worried. I did not want to delete these fogs, because you know how a Kouki looks without fogs. Everything OEM is the best. Kouki is pretty much done now. Just installing his new solid motor mounts and transmission mounts, doing some maintenance such as spark plugs and all his belts. Gonna be changing his fan clutch as well, because I don't know if you guys see this fucking zip tie, but apparently it's strong enough to allow it not to blow up. But other than that, we also fixed the CX Racing's kit's issue, because originally it wasn't letting the bumper sit nicely with the intercooler and everything in place. So what I recommend for the people installing the CX Racing kit is, when you put your bumper support back on after modifying it, make sure that shit is sitting as far up and pushed back as you possibly can. Even though you'll notice that the kit doesn't really help you much in that aspect, but as long as you push it and make it work nicely, your seams will be pretty much OEM again. Because before there was like a fat gap. No more gap, thank God. I was really worried about that, because I do not like gaps on OEM cars. And just like that, Kouki's pretty much situated all mechanically. Just got to do fluids tomorrow. Gonna put the fan shroud on, new clutch fan, all the belts. Probably gonna have to change the valve cover gasket, because that shit's fucked. But other than that, oh shit, he killed it.
That shit was a pain.
It was a pain in the ass. I touched the car 1 minute. I've been wiring all day and I cut my finger. Sick. Yeah. What's up, Chris? What you bang?
Having?
Oh. Bro, that shit happened to me too. No more skateboards here. Like I said, we put a keyless ignition system on this S14. It's kind of similar to the way Tesla has theirs. They have a little card key. You'll go ahead and tap it in the center console area, and it recognizes it and gives you the ability to start it up. So this system has a little module, and with the module comes a receiver. It looks like a little circle. We put his receiver inside here. So you simply would just go like this. This is one of the keys. You heard that beep. Press the brake. Press the start button. Just like that, keyless ignition system. So as I was saying, we were originally doing a T28 install with a couple of things such as maintenance, like motor mounts, plugs, belts, fans, battery relocation, keyless ignition system, stuff like that, you know. The previous tech, he's good. He knows what he's doing. It's not his fault. This shit happens to everybody. But the previous tech pulled off the turbo and just assumed that the turbo seal was bad, which a lot of people do. It's very common. So I'm not saying this guy did anything wrong. He did a good job. All the parts he chose were good and everything like that. But his valve seals were the main issue. So unfortunately, since his valve seals are bad, now we have to pull the head off and do a complete head gasket. But I'm going to do everything such as Mazworks head studs, Tomei head gasket, SuperTech valve seals, everything to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because we are going to be putting more boost on the car. And it's so unfortunate that this happened, but got to deal with it, you know. But stay tuned for a head gasket job on the Kouki, I guess.